Today you got up. You may have or you may not have been in a dark place. You may have or you may not have had moments where you wasn't so sure of why you got up another day. But today was the day that you got up. Today was another day for you to fight, another day for you to ask another question, another day for you to see a smile, for someone to see your smile, for someone to hold you, to call you, to hear your voice, for you to hear their voice. It may not be the best day, but it's another day. And on the days where it feels like it's getting too hard or it's getting too much, you simply just have to dial 3 numbers, 988. We've been taught so long to dial 911. And you can call them too if it's truly gotten to that point. But if you just need someone to guide you through the process of getting help, guide you through the process of hearing you and being heard, then dial 988. Contact the National Suicide Crisis Lifeline with 3 digits. 3 digits, 988. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. And if for some reason, some odd, strange reason, you just need somebody that you feel a little bit more comfortable to speak to, then reach out to me with a simple message of, we need to talk. I don't care how you do it. Sneak it in there, put it in there. I don't care. Put it on the video. I will find you. I will locate you. Come to my Instagram. Come to Twitter. I will go through the process with you. You are not in this battle alone. You do not have to take this on by yourself. This is not something that only you are dealing with. It's not uniquely just you. There's so many others like you who just need someone to talk to. So please reach out and get help. Contact 988. And if you don't do nothing else, contact BetterHelp. Talk to someone. We're all open to hearing what you have to say. Now, let's talk football. What's going on, Pride Nation? I'm back at it again, talking about this damn preseason game. That's right. We about to have us some good old fun, just talking some good old football. Everybody got an opinion, including your boy here, who's going to share his views and some of the things that he's noticed and get y'all views on some of the things that y'all noticed. Let me just tell you right now. Let me just go ahead and put the trigger alert out there. Some of y'all might be triggered by some of the things I'm getting ready to say. So let that serve as your opportunity to be warned, okay? But we're going to have fun today. Obviously talking about what happened with the Hard Knocks episode. The Hard Knocks episode is coming up tomorrow, the preseason game, and all the other news. I'm going to yell at a few fans because I think there's a lot of despicable things that I'm seeing that I do not understand. Let's see who's in the building with me. My man Lions Rumble 81 is in the building. Chrome is in the building. Looney Tune Forbidden Knowledge is in the building. Mr. Micro Mike is in the building. We got my man's the Singles Dads Club. Yes, sir. Detroit Made Me is in the building. Raw Detroit, aka TA. What up, though? Makai Holt is in the building. Let me see. I see Mike right now. Mike already trying to lead off into it. I'm gonna get all the fun stuff out the way. The great one, Mike, is in the building. I see you, brother. Malik Mills is in the building. We got my man B Pharrell in the building. Shout out to all y'all that showed up, to rock with me today. All right, listen. First things first. Here's my overall view of this game and what I've seen and what I'm hearing. Y'all need to chill the hell out, okay? Chill out. It's a preseason game. Week 1 preseason game, okay? Were there good things in there? Sure. But let's chill the hell out. We really need to take that first breath and say, you know what? Maybe we're getting too caught up in it. It's cool. One of the things, I'm going to give you 3 things that I thought. 3 things that I thought were grossly overblown. 3 things. I'm going to do them in order, starting from 3. Number 3, the play of Jarrad Davis. I could not be more shocked and amazed at people acting as if though Jarrad Davis plays so bad. And I love that we can watch the same game and see things different. But there's a lot of biases going around here. There are people who literally decided to debate and argue if Jarrad Davis' penalty was legit or not. And the reality is it was a bad call. The announcers felt that it was a bad call. The head coach felt that it was a bad call. The player felt that it was a bad call. The opposition knew it was a bad call and was excited about it. And most fans knew it was a bad call. But then I get to see some of these comments from some of the people that I have so much love and respect for, who I'm not going to name because I love and respect them. But they're on Twitter like posted things like, let me see. Let me get to one of my favorite ones because this one truly caught my attention, if it will. It says hashtag Lions fans for the most part had a negative reaction to return of Jarrad Davis. He isn't doing himself any favors with that last penalty. It was a bad call. It was a bad call on every level. You have people talking about breathe easy. Folks, Jarrad Davis ain't making a 53-man roster. You have people saying things like, oh, he was trash. That's why we let him go the first place. No, they tried to keep him. He opted to go because his experience with Matt Patricia, the guy that many of you felt needed 3 years, was that bad. But the idea that he didn't play well is blown out of proportion. There are people posting clips like, oh, Jarrad Davis, look, he blew the wrong assignment. He should have. You don't understand what he brings to the table. Which brings me to my next thing that's been overblown. Okay? Which I don't know why, but it is. The cornerback position. The amount of praise that I'm seeing being given to the cornerbacks, it's ridiculous. They did not play well. And while people were trying to give praise in the media and other parts of it, they didn't play well. They didn't. They didn't perform. They didn't show up and show out. There was too many plays where I felt that our safeties made too many tackles. Too many. And these are things that we're going to talk about in this show that jumped out to me. But the idea that Okudah had a great game and Jarrad Davis didn't, you're tripping. you got me going crazy. It doesn't make sense. What up, though, Don 19? What's going on, One Funky Lion fan? And yes, I am shocked because I cannot believe at the one game people are talking like this. In fact, he was probably the best linebacker out there that day, from what I saw. Everybody loved Malcolm Rodriguez. He overran, which again, he's a rookie. He overran so many plays, hit the wrong gap a few times. But he's a rookie, so I expect to see those things. There was times where I seen him still wrestling with people on blocks. But Okudah had a good day. Why? Because he came back from an Achilles? Or was it the fact that he wasn't going up against like anybody of interest for real? I mean, like, what? Seriously, once you go Kyle Pitts and y'all made this point, who are the receivers that Drake London got off? And he caught a nice little pass, but that was on Amani. Amani may not be informed right now, but I don't care. But come on. And the number one thing that I think that people have blown out of proportion is Aiden Hutchinson. I want y'all to understand something. Did he have some good moments? Absolutely. Did it look nice to see it? Yes, it did. But when I get into the other parts of the game, I'm going to point out to you the things that people are going to argue against. They ran that ball on us like a 1964 Jim Brown. The amount of yards that they gained on most of the runs was ridiculous. The amount of big plays given up was ridiculous. And I say all that to say this. When I look at Aiden Hutchinson, he had some good moments. But this idea that, he forced a hold. The guy just held. There's a difference between a force a hold and a guy just held him. He just held him. I don't know why he did this, but most linemen do this, and most of them usually get away with it. But in this case, that lineman didn't. Good for us. Kudos. Right? But that's a play that I'm like, oh, okay, chill. Oh, he's already getting double teamed. I don't know if y'all paid attention to the whole game like I did, but when they took him out, they were still double teaming on certain plays. So that tells me that was by play design. You know, like seriously. Now, Down19 says, how much stock do you put on there? Not much. That's my point. That started the whole video out with telling everybody to chill the hell out. We are giving too much stock and not enough stock in too many areas. And what you should have did was watch the game to see who performed and who didn't. That's all it should have been. Now, when I take all this that I gave you for my three things, number one, the Jared Davis played bad, blows my mind. Number two, the cornerbacks played great. In particular, goddamn, Okuda. And I don't even throw one more. I throw one more in there outside of the hush. The Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy do this shit all the time. And he goes right back to the practice squad. So now, why do I say all those things? I needed to bring you down to earth because I'm about to get petty. I'm about to get real petty. Because all I've been hearing for months is how linebackers don't matter. We don't need linebackers. Linebackers is not a thing. Linebackers this and linebackers that. And I'm telling you, linebackers have no value. That's all I kept hearing. You want to know what I saw? I saw a D-line who didn't help linebackers out. I give them that credit. The D-line didn't do too much to help the linebackers out. But I also saw that we got a freaking problem at linebacker. It still exists. The same things that we went into the season with still exist. I told y'all, pay attention. I told y'all, pay attention to the secondary. I told y'all, pay attention to the linebackers. Nobody cares if you have an amazing D-line when your linebackers can't field. And I gave you examples upon examples where I said, look at the Seattle Seahawks. When the Legion of Boom first started, you could not name that starting D-line. You can name them linebackers and those safeties and those corners. To this day, you have to be a diehard Seahawks fan to name that D-line. Did they make a name for themselves over the time? Sure. But that was well after the Legion of Boom first established itself. But all I kept hearing is linebackers. We don't really need a linebacker in this scheme. Everybody got a damn Madden video game. We don't need a line. If you just go and look at the play of the player, Rodriguez. Stop it. Because if there's anything that was telling in that game, it should have started there. And Steve said, I thought you was getting petty already. No. No. I'm about to get petty now because I'm sick of this. Stop texting me and coming in the chat and saying things like we don't need linebackers and linebackers are underrated. The same way y'all keep downplaying stuff with other positions. This is not how it works. Junior get the I think that's how you say that. Junior get the. If I said that wrong, my apologies. What up, though? The thing that blew my mind was they ran the ball on us. That's one. Now I'm finna get into some more petty. Because while everybody was all chalked up and, we were so in love with what they did, I came up with some questions that you should be asking yourself. Right? The first one being, was it a mistake? Was it a mistake in acting like we can just go this season and not add another linebacker? Because what I saw in week one was an absolute mistake. I don't care who's out there playing linebacker. No one should just run like that. Quarterback got free range. Running back got free range. You got free range. It's almost the equivalent to allowing your money from your entire savings to just sit in the middle of the street and it's going to be safe. There's a problem at that position. If you had better linebacker play, because there were gaps I looked very close. There were gaps. But if you had better linebacker play, this doesn't happen. It doesn't happen at all. We got so caught up in the performances and stuff that we lost track of what the hell was going on. How they was able to make big pass at the big pass at the big pass, big run at the big run at the big run. And yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a bigger issue than the score and things like that. Because what I saw are things that I know don't happen. Don't believe me? Go and look at every other preseason game. Go and look at it. Quarterbacks getting off. Everybody is Michael Vick returned to the Falcons yesterday. Y'all missed it? I mean, on Saturday. Y'all didn't see Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota? They was living their best life. And the nearest linebacker that you will see in the frame every time was Jared Davis. We're going to leave that alone. I looked at this game and I was like, okay, so we need linebackers. That's a problem. The safety play to me, they had way too many damn tackles. Too many plays got to our safeties. Which brings me to the things that I saw in the game that, like I said, that were good. There were some things in that game that was good. The first team offense came out fire on all cylinders. The play calling looked a little bit different, a little bit crisp, but for the most part, it was a lot of the similarities I saw early on from last year. And I thought that the decision-making by the players was more decisive. But I love what I saw from the run game. You know, the reason why I've been pressing and pushing the button on saying that Swift should get more carries is because of what you saw the other day, where he literally stopped on a dime, turned to the left, and took off to another gear, lowered the shoulder, and got in the end zone. We cannot act as if though these things do not occur. Right? A lot of good. Receivers catching passes, great. Devin Funchess making an appearance, great. Certain cornerbacks stepping up, great. Prince, Bobby Prince getting an interception, great. And before somebody come in here who came in here late and make that statement about, oh, well, it got knocked out by a linebacker, it was a terrible call. Spare me that. Sue would be a nice sign. Yes, the hell he would right now. Yes, he would. They need somebody who can truly cause some havoc next to Aleem McNeil. Because he got double teamed too, but I didn't hear all the oohs and ahs about it. The linebackers couldn't plug a hole. I'm gonna leave that joke alone. That was too much. I'm gonna leave that one alone. So where does this stuff come into? There's a lot of good things going on. Motivation. They seem upbeat. They seem excited. They seem ready to rock and roll. But there were some things that was bad. And again, it's just one game. It's just one thing. So let me give you the good. They was damn good on third down. I know a lot of people was like, I heard a few different people come up and be like, man, they was pathetic on third down on offense. I was like, what? What? I'm like, what do you mean? They was pathetic. What are you talking about? They was 8 for 15 on third downs. 2 for 2 on fourths. Great. They only had 2 penalties. They had a total of 4, but I'm only counting 2. 2 of the penalties they had, I thought was BS. Just thought it was BS. Sorry. Thought it was BS. Thought the O-line did good. I thought Jared Davis did good. I thought Aiden Hutchinson did good. I thought Austin Bryant did good. Tom Kennedy. I thought all the running backs did good. Even Jamar Jefferson in his limited role. Jamar Jefferson doesn't remind me too much of some other running backs, but we're gonna leave that alone. I thought there was a lot of good in there. I thought everybody got excited because Aiden Hutchinson blew through on a good swim move and got a tackle for a loss. Yeah. But you know what's ugly? In all of that entire game, there wasn't a single fucking sack in that game from the Detroit Lions. Not a singular sack in that game. I've watched every news outlet. I haven't heard a single person talk about how we didn't get a single goddamn sack in that game. And the idea that we got close only counts if you're playing horseshoes. And this is football. Nobody is playing freaking horseshoes in football. Almost doesn't count. Okay? So now you look at that and you take that in. Not a single freaking sack. When you go back and look at the tackles for a loss, that makes me depressed too. The numbers are not good there. The defense had its moments where it flashed and did some good, and it had its moments where it wasn't quite there. But to sit there and look at that and the fact that we kept giving up too many big plays, whether it be in the run or in the pass, is ugly. There's nothing exciting about that. He said, it's preseason game, my dog. Save your blood pressure. I started to show out with that. I told everybody, calm the hell down. We overreacted over too many things. The things we should be focusing on are things that need to get better, like our linebacking core, like depth at the safety position. That's why I asked the question, was it a mistake for them not to further address the linebacker position? I think it is. I got another question that needs to stand out. Did we make a mistake switching Iffy from cornerback to safety? Because I'm starting to wonder. I really am starting to wonder. Because I didn't like what I seen out of our cornerbacks. I didn't. And it wasn't like I wanted to it wasn't like I wanted to just see people fail. I needed to see something, and I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that we were still giving up big plays. Hell, one of the big plays came on 4th and 9. And yes, I know that guy probably will make the team no way, but it doesn't matter. Where was the safety at in that frame? That's the real question. Where was they? Obviously, Tracy Walker wasn't out there, so that means the backups was in. Where was the nearest safety? He got boxed out like Shaquille O'Neal underneath the rim. Now, granted, it's week 1. I'm going to be expecting to see some things on tomorrow's episode of Hard Knocks. Starting with somebody getting yelled at in the linebacking room. For the defensive coordinator to be snapping on them as a whole. For RB Pleasant to be snapping on the secondary. I want to see some upset. I want the head coach yelling at coaches. Like, why this just shouldn't happen? If you think that team could run the ball, wait till you play the Colts. I watched that game. I was like, oh, good grief. We get to do this again. Good grief. There's another problem right here, TA. Levi and Josh is hurt. We need them. Yes. 2 second-round picks drafted. Hurt. Not doing nothing for us. When? When are they going to get on the field? Everybody's so excited about the goddamn receiver that we got. He hurt too. The tight end we got hurt too. And they released Garrett today. They released some players. They had to cut down 5 players to get to 85. But my point is, when you look at depth on that defense, yeah, got a little bit of a concern going on. Trying to understand why this is. And there's a lot of things in there, again, that were good. But Aiden Hutchinson wasn't brought here to be no run stopper. He's brought here to get sacks. And when you go through and you look at him, I really don't think I don't think their quarterback got uncomfortable for real. They had moments where pressure was created, but overall, they never really got uncomfortable. They never did. And rather people know it, if this don't get fixed quick, just for the record, down, I ain't forgot Chase Lucas. He should have had an interception. Very good job reading and jumping, but he didn't bring it in. But before this gets crazy, quick, we need to start to look at Aaron Glenn. Maybe he will be here next year. If he can't get the pieces to fix these holes. The same problems we had last year showed up in the game. I'm going to be looking to see if them same problems show up in the game against the Colts. And that's the issue. But I wanted to see in this attacking 4-3, I wanted to see some sacks. I went through. I was just bored. I ain't had nothing to do. Football was over. I went through. I think we was it was two teams. It was us. God, this is when I need to write my notes down. I should have brought them upstairs. It doesn't matter. But it's only two teams that didn't have sacks this whole week. Both of them happen to be bottom feeders. I got people campaigning for Tim Boyle to be gone. We know he should be gone, right? Then you have people talking about David Blau fumbled the game away. So what? He's still a better option than Tim Boyle. Did you see how many times Tim Boyle completely threw the ball to a whole nother state? Receiver wide open. He threw the damn ball all the way to freaking California. So what? He can get it down there. Nobody was there to catch it. It was just dumb. But I asked these questions. Is it a mistake to not address the linebackers? Is it a mistake to move Iffy from corner to safety? These are things that we got to look at. Steve-O says Ron wasn't built in a day, Luke. They will address linebackers next offseason. Well, I don't think next offseason they're going to have a more favorable schedule. So, just saying. It's nowhere near possible for their schedule for next year to be more favorable than it is this year. And to do it in a year where two of the teams in your division are in a complete rebuild. Okay. I'm not putting off I'm not putting off today for tomorrow. What if tomorrow don't come? I got to get my shit done today. Now, we can stick with this whole 3 years, 2 years, and all. I'm not subscribing to it. But there were some people that I saw and I went, oh, okay. Okay, I get it. I do not understand it. Now, granted, I gotta talk about we as a fan base as a whole, because I read an article that kind of ticked me off. I'm gonna read you exactly what the headlines say. Jared Goff's fiance said Lions fans sent her death threats after each loss. She says, my DMs was just blowing up repeatedly. I had to shut my account down. What the hell is wrong with people? Seriously, what the hell is wrong with people? To show you the logic in which some of these fans think, you thought because you couldn't get in contact with Jared, I'm going to go after his girl? And not go after his girl in an attempt to take her. Not go after his girl to, I'm going to let her. I'm sending death threats. Are you serious? For the Lions? I wouldn't do that if I was a Patriots fan. What is wrong with people? It is not just there. I see this happening in our community with the YouTube world, where certain fans come in with nothing but anger and hate in their heart just for the hell of it to be disruptive. And for what? This is nuts to me. You have to think about this. As you sitting up there and you're hearing my voice and you think about some of the other fans, think about the lowest of the low that you got to be to go to a supermodel. Not to look at the features that she's putting on display for you to see, but to send death threats because her fiance is your quarterback. You did the same thing to Stafford. Then you wonder why I come on here and other people come on here and ask questions like, what the hell wrong with y'all? Let me just read some of the stuff that she said. She didn't want to give no names. So sweet of her. Isn't that generous? She says, I get the most death threats after a loss. My DMs just blow up like crazy stuff explained on the player card on the podcast. She says, people can be crazy. People can be mean. And I think what I've learned is to just not listen. She said, I've did my best to ignore it. She said, but every time Jared would do something, my DMs would completely explode. The hell is going on? Then I go back to realizing, well, this is what happens. You have a media force, because I've seen this happen, where the media puts things out there that rouse up the troops on things that they're not right about. Like Jared Davis looks bad in that penalty. For what? People, if you have to do all this and you have to be this kind of person, Get out of Pride Nation. Go find another team. Go jock some other quarterback, be in love with him. But no way should you be sending death threats and telling them what you want to do to their husband. That's too much. It's just too much. All right? So I got to put that out there because I think this is a black eye. This is terrible. This is an unnecessary bruise for what? This is the equivalent. Just watch this. Watch this one right here. Could you imagine if you are, I don't know, the pitcher of the Tigers, and they can't get in contact with you, so they pull up to your mom's DMs and your children's DMs and be like, your dad sucks. She's rich. She don't care about your threats. These goddamn keyboard warriors is terrible. So I had to hit on that for a minute. I had to do that because I'm hoping that this gets to the people who did it and they realize it's not necessary. It's not. It's football. And there's players that I 100% don't rock with. Right? There's people that I just don't rock with when it comes to players. Hell, right? But I'm not going to go throughout the way to death threat everybody in their circle. What the hell kind of mob? This Grand Theft Auto shit is this? So I say all that to say this. Remember, it's still a game, right? Remember, it's still football. Look at where we can get better at, which is why I started out with chill. Relax. It ain't that serious. Just chill. It don't make sense. Now, what's the first thing that we can start to get into on top of it? I instantly went to the free agency pool. I have gotten to a point where everybody is on my goddamn board for a trade partner. There ain't a team in this division we should not be trading with for a goddamn another secondary player and a linebacker. It's just no way possible. And while I know that it is a preseason game, it's a lot of overreactions and stuff. That's not the point. Linebackers, this is what I felt like. There was a few plays where Derek Barnes, if he just stay outside, the play gets forced to the middle, and it probably is not a play where he slices inside on the play, and the guy runs in the gap that he should have been at. And I'm like, okay. There's a play with Jared Davis, blew the blocker up, and I thought he could have probably avoided that contact, but he did a good job of blowing him up. So I was like, okay. And I say all that to say this. When I can only find spot plays here and there where they're doing certain things right, this is a huge problem. This ain't got nothing to do with preseason. This is basic football one-on-one. And the D-line could have helped them out some, right? They could have. But the media finna sell you on Rodriguez is phenomenal. Like, what? Really? Because he got a good hit on special teams. The buck stopped there. Like, come on. Now, we at the halfway mark where I dropped the link in the chat. You know what I'm saying? So people could jump in and get their opinions and stuff. But when I tell you that on top of that, I noticed something else that stood out to me, right? This is so minute that I'm pretty sure nobody was talking about it, but it was so it was so minute. All right. Do y'all realize how many times we got to the red zone and took a field goal? You realize we scored 14 points and the rest of that came on field goals, right? My problem with that was I know who's at quarterback. I know who's at receiver. I know that there was second and third string guys in. I get all that, right? I'm not ignorant to that fact. Okay. I am, however, going to point out that we didn't close those drives out like we should have. We had too many opportunities to close those off of points. It didn't come up. Granted, new system, first game of the preseason. I'm giving you all your usual excuses. Again, I don't care. I'm looking at fundamental football that should have been addressed. All right? Fundamental football that should have been addressed. So, again, I just put the link in there. So, you want to jump in and talk ball with me, feel free to do so. But my issue comes into play where I honestly felt like this team is going to go in the direction of the defense, because the offense is looking like they're going to have to score a lot of points. And I mean a lot of points. Von D. Gaming, what up, though? Right? The offense is going to have to score a lot of points. The defense at some point is going to have to make some more plays. And it's going to start with those guys who are hurt coming into play. Then y'all get mad at me when I said every draft going forward is going to be a C. They will earn their grades. They will earn their grades. But how do you fix this linebacker room? How do you fix the cornerbacks that's going to play opposite of Amani Oruwariye? How do you fix the safeties? Because God forbid if one of them safeties go down, we're fucked. And it don't make sense. They're absolutely still struggling with this stuff. And I for one, believe that they could have addressed all of this with this past draft. That's just me. I believe they could have addressed all of this with that past draft. They went in a host of different directions. Kudos to them. But I believe they could have addressed it. All right. And they didn't. Right? For whatever reason. I got to pay some bills, good people. Bear with it, brother. All right. Let me get this together. Hold on. All right. In case you didn't know. All right. I have partnered up with and rocking with Man Hour. All right. That is Man Hour. You know, where it's a raw and uncut version over there. If you're wondering about some of the things you're going to see over there, let me just help you. All right. I know that some of y'all may say, oh, this is clickbait. But this is their strong opinions, and you should respect them as much as we want to respect each other. Chiefs never needed Tyreek Hill. Raiders are winning the West. These are all conversations that's happening on there. All 32 teams have a content creator that posts things on there. We're trying to get them to 2,000 subscribers, but this can also be heard on Roku. This can also be heard on a host of other platforms. And when you start to look at these things with this team, let me get this down. Here we go. You can show some love to Man Hour. It is linked in the description. All right. Again, the link also is in the chat. So if you want to jump in, talk some ball for a minute, and jump out, you are entitled to do so. I'm an open book today. Feel free to do it. I need to recap real quick. First things first, chill out. Stop overreacting. Stop acting as if though everything had to be perfect, and it doesn't. It doesn't. But quit acting like they just, our starters, the offense is going to be a problem. Aiden Hutchinson is a menace. He was not brought here for run stopping. He's brought here for sacks. And I expect to see him around the quarterback more often. Period. That's the standard for him. I got standards for all our players, but for him, that's the standard. All right? So, again, that's brought to you by Man Hour. My first guest is in the building, always coming in, showing some love. My man, Anthony. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Luke. How's things?
Good. You know what I'm saying? Good. I'm trying to douse some of the the overreactions to the first preseason game. I feel like it was so overblown, and a lot of the things that people were talking about and saying is ridiculous. Like I'm at the point where I was even afraid to give a second round pickup for Roquan Smith. I am totally now all in on second round pick for Roquan Smith. Not only get a second round pick, but sign him.
Yeah. I'm with you there, Luke. I mean, I don't know that first game. Don't get me wrong. It was so the starters. I liked what I saw on both sides in a weird way. So the offense, we want Atlanta are a bad team on defense. Let's get that right. You wanted to see them dominate against them, and for one drive they did. So mission accomplished. They looked good. They looked a lot more solid in what they were doing, which was absolutely fine. The defense. Yes, it did struggle more, but you're missing your interior D guys to injury apart from Aleem, so you're relying on the backups a little bit early. You kind of expected that. I liked how more aggressive they were. Barnes hit the hole, got a tackle for loss against the runner, and I've been screaming all summer, that's what we need to do. We need to be more aggressive with our linebackers because that's where they'll be at their best. And yes, sure, some of them were missing their holes, some of them were missing the assignments, and these things you can work out, but at least they were being aggressive with them. They weren't passively keeping them in cover. They were trying to bring the pressure. So, for a first preseason game against that opposition, then, you saw what you want. You saw what you wanted, but make no mistake, like you say, the overreaction there. Colts are going to smack us a lot harder in the face this week. They're a lot better team. That, I think, is when you're going to start seeing a little bit more about what this team is made of, etc. But, for the first team, I'm mildly satisfied, but, not going crazy.
Yeah, I was excited to see the things that I thought will go well. The offensive line held up really well. The run game was there. There was big gaps and open lanes for them. The receivers caught the ball when they were supposed to. The route running plays and how they did it. The different level of passes, right? You got some deep passes and short, things like that. So I was happy to see all those little parts. But, not having a single sack in a preseason game just seemed hard when you had second and third string. And that could be reflective of the depth chart, right? That could be reflective of us not having the depth there for that. But I'll be damned, we drafted enough people, which it should be there. Another thing that I was shocked about, that I'm gonna get into once I bring in our next person, is the safety play, because I saw some articles where I was like, "Are we watching the same fucking game? Like what did I miss?" So let me bring in our next guest and then we'll address that. My man Lions Rumbles in the building. What up, though?
What up, though, Luke? What up, though, Anthony?
Hey,
how y'all doing, man?
Rumble.
Man.
Yeah, look, I told myself that I was going to come in today and be peaceful, but I got tired of reading all the crazy stuff. All right. That's all it was. It's Greedy the Amazing says, we not getting Smith for no less than a first this year and a second next year. Then he can stay where the hell he at. I'm sorry. I can tell you this much. I'm praying if that's the case, I pray to God that the Bills get stupid and put that damn linebacker Spector on practice squad or cut him, because he showed up and showed out. He very, very well performed. Looked like he was all over, solid tackler. I was very impressed with what I saw out of him. So just saying. It said Luke also saw some articles where I questioned what game were they watching. Yeah, let's start off with this first one. There was this one article. I don't remember who wrote it. Right, I didn't even care. I read the whole article and I was like, okay. And it was talking about Kirby Joseph and how Kirby Joseph had a great game and how he led the team in tackles and how they gave him an extended look because he got this many snaps. And you know what I walked away and said? When your safety getting that many tackles and they went at the line of scrimmage, it's not a good thing. It's just not. That means that too many damn plays got to him. Right. And that was a huge problem for me. Like 100%.
Yeah, we definitely need help in linebacker. Aside from Jared Davis, doing what he does, we really didn't have anything like disruptive other than the D line. I mean, we desperately need somebody who's gonna just put their foot in the ground, and whoever catches the ball across the middle, they pay for it. Like we need an enforcer right there in the middle of that field. It can't be our safeties coming from 20 feet behind them and coming up to try to make a play. We definitely need somebody there to set the tone, man. We really do. Because if the D line's jumping up, trying to tip passes and trying to be disruptive, once they leave their feet or once they, get blocked, that side of the field is open, man. Let's just be honest. So I have to see some better things out of, the draft picks that we brought in, man, whether it be Barnes, whether it be, whoever we brought in at that position. Somebody needs to step up and be the dog. We can't.
Well, one of the things that I saw that I think led to some of the poor linebacking play was the constant rotating linebacker. That shit can't happen. This is not. I know some people do it, but that can't happen. Either you playing all three snaps or you not. And again, it is what it is. Sky Guy says, Luke, you see, Boye Mafe had 2 sacks a sack strip fumble. Yeah, I saw that, and I just said, okay. Again, not my thing to worry about, but again, let me answer this question from Mike, where Mike know what he's doing. Mike trying to start something like Michael Jackson. You want to be starting something. Is Malcolm Rodriguez better than Nakobe Dean? Coming out of college? No. And in the pros, it is yet to be seen. If he is better, he'll have to show it. But there's a few plays where he just could not get off the blocker. He couldn't. I don't care. Like, them linemen ain't that damn good in ATL for you not to get off the blocker. Seriously. And there was a few times where he rushed in there, and I'm like, you got to blow that blocker up. You got to bring the funk to him. He waited a little bit, and the blocker got on him. So, but they're my rookie mistakes. I'm expecting them to be better. But do I believe we can upgrade? Yeah, 100%. Do I think we can do some things to make that a better situation? Yeah, starting with the D-line being more sound and they gap assignment. So,
well, our two injured guys, aren't there? You know, we drafted Pascal and Levi for that depth, and they're absent in action. No sign of them. So it was always going to be a problem. They were getting through the defensive line on the interior too quick. Those linemen were. So, you know, it got up to the second line very quickly, just nullified. Usually, linebackers have a little bit more time to diagnose the plays than that. But outside of Aleem and Taylor, when he came in later on, it was bad.
No, I agree, and that's why I said the line. I said that earlier. The D line did them no favors in keeping them unscathed, but at some point, they still need to hit their marks, and so those little things do make a difference. And it wasn't there. My problem is these were draft picks that people gave 8 grades to, and they're hurt and not on the fucking field. So I don't want to, douse your fire, but let's hold off from giving out grades before it's too soon. Okay.
Yeah, my thing is, I don't think Shep and them really know who their backup linebackers are. Like you said, Luke, they just had everybody. All right, somebody show me something type. But kudos to him for getting a rookie out there, and Rodriguez, you know, playing his first kind of NFL game. Kudos to him. I think next week, definitely he got his feet wet. I think next week for sure he'll be a lot more physical because that's what we brought him in for, just to disrupt. I don't care, even if the guy he's blocking, even if he like shoves him into the running back or just shoves him down, I need to see some oomph out of him. This is what we need out of our linebackers. We need that grit, that, you know, that attitude. Like, if you're gonna get beat, at least get beat trying to like pick a ball or trying to make a play. Don't just get beat by like lack of effort. Like,
facts.
I felt like they didn't know where they were supposed to be at. It's like, bro, just keep your eyes in front of you. Keep the player in front of you. Anybody that comes across that middle, man, just even if they catch it, you got to light them up. I'm sorry. I don't wish injury on nobody, but you got to set the tone, man. That way they're looking twice in the middle of the field. Like, okay, where's that guy that just cleaned my clock a play or two ago? We don't have that. So
no, and if you do have it, it changed the way people play you. Ricky Bobby says Davis don't even try to locate the ball; he just rushes without thinking. Now, one of the things I want y'all to be aware of is if you watch how they use Jared Davis, they were sending him on a lot of the blitzes, and they sent Rodriguez on the blitz. They sent quite a few people. They wanted to see how these people perform in the blitzing situation, and by far, he was our best blitzing linebacker. So that's one. Two. I don't think it's a matter of not locating the ball. I know there's a clip going around where he goes and blows the fullback and the running back runs where he's at. But the goal of it is he's trying to fill that gap and pinch it. So he's trying to pinch that fullback there. So if that running back comes there, he can make that play. Obviously, the running back is a little bit more shiftier than he thought. It happens. Could he have avoided them altogether? He could have. But then, you know, who's to say what happens? Hindsight is 20/20. So, you know, we really can't say, but I get your point in terms of you saying that, you know, he's not locating for the ball. I think it's just what they're asking him to do. They want him to now do that the same way when they rush Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes did a very good job with the blitz, in my opinion. So those were our two best blitzing linebackers. So I get it. We need to upgrade for sure at the linebacker. Don't forget safety, because once Tracy Walker went out, good grief. And there's a few plays where I felt like Tracy Walker should not be having that many goddamn tackles. To everybody who just came in, salute to you. Please hit that like, subscribe button. Von D Game has been here for a minute. My man Lasco Branding is in the building and showed up for the people. Sky Guy said, "This is why I said we don't have a true one." I mean, it is what it is. Is Jalen Smith still a free agent? Because at this point, I'm taking all freaking options. I'm not even playing with you. You know. I'm 100% point it out. Shout out to my man William. He says Derek Barnes had a bad misassignment, shot the wrong gap. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier. He should have stayed outside because you want everything to funnel into the inside. And he decided to take the road of least resistance, thus leaving the gap. He should have been that open. So I definitely saw that happen. And I went, yeah. But again, it wasn't just him. They all did this.
I think.
But go ahead, Anthony.
In that case, I think you kind of have to just say you like seeing the aggression, though. Yeah, they got it wrong, but in time, with practice, they'll start getting it right. And that's kind of what you want to see. So this is what you like preseason for. You don't mind if they make mistakes like this, because they'll hopefully get it out of the system. But the aggressiveness of the linebackers was key this year, and they're doing it. So we want to be thankful that they've kind of realized that as well.
Also, Jalen Smith to the free agency, go call him. You don't motivate everybody else to come for dirt cheap. Go do whatever you doing, the reach around or the sweet talk you blowing in their ear, whatever you doing. Hey. Go get Jalen Smith. Okay, I'm serious. We need just get. Listen. Who? Tell me Jalen Smith couldn't upgrade this linebacking core. Tell me.
No, we could. I think. As long as I think you do have to get someone, though. You don't want to just bring a 1-year guy in who's going to stifle the development of the young ones. It does have to be someone who could potentially have a longer term here, I think. So if he's young enough, then maybe, but you do have to be careful with it. Because at the end of the day, we want these youngsters to become good.
Shout out to the Chaos Controller. First of all, that's a dope name. He says he was terrible with the Packers. No. Just shot that down. Franshizzle 86. Man, y'all got some of the most unique freaking names out there. That's dope. It says, coming from a Falcons fan, y'all got a hell of an edge rusher in Hutch. It was a good game. Y'all first drive had me worried. Yeah, but see, that's the problem. We should have been more than that first drive. I think it went 10 plays, 79 yards. Brilliant, right? And again, I get it. I think that's dope that happened. I think that is crazy when you look at this game. Again, it's preseason. But, no disrespect to your franchise and stuff that you love, y'all line was not that good to be having y'all running backs and quarterbacks running like that.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the positive thing was, so if our first team offense would have been in that game, we'd have won it probably quite comfortably. And that's what you need this season, because we are going to be going up against a lot of teams who are rebuilding and don't have finished articles on defense, especially on that line. So, from this point of view, you needed to see them dominate, and for them to dominate was, again, you've got a much bigger test coming up this week, and if they can dominate this week, then the hype starts getting real. But, they did what they needed to on Friday, which stands us in good stead.
This is the dress rehearsal game. The game against the Colts is the dress rehearsal. Also, Franshizzle 86, there's a link in the description. If you want to jump in and join the conversation and talk about the Falcons and some things that you like. There was a player on y'all team that I was trying to watch close as hell because I thought that the Lions should have drafted him. I thought that he would have been a good piece for us and would have added some value for us. There's a few players that I saw on y'all team that I was like, where they cut him? I really did question it. And I was like, if they cut him, I'm going to keep my thoughts. I know right now, the first one I'm putting out there off rip from the Bills, who I'm going to be watching for the rest of the damn preseason because I like what I saw out of him in those games from beginning to the end. He was 100% just playing with attitude, and that's Balin Spector. That dude was all over the freaking field. And it was clear to me that he was better than most of the people that he was going against. Solid tackler, just looked like he knew what was going on. I enjoyed every bit of it. But again, the link in the chat is so if you want to jump in, be a part of the conversation, talk some ball for a few minutes and jump out, you can. I have always had an open door policy to where you can come in and disagree with me and it's all good. So no hard feelings over here. It is not that serious. Trust and believe. But yeah, I mean, feel free to jump in and have this conversation. Who was the player, in your opinion? Start off with you, Rumble. Who was the player that you was just hoping did more? Like you needed more. you wanted to hear and see more from that player.
Yeah, I think you spoke on it earlier. Our secondary, whoever after Tracy Walker, I need a solid guy who's going to be able to just wreak havoc and just enforce his will. I don't care whatever ball's being thrown. I need that. The safety is your last line of defense. So after Tracy goes down or is, if he's tired, needs to take a shift off, like who else is going to be that guy? We brought in Deshaun Elliott. We brought in Kirby. We brought all these guys in. I just need one of those guys to be like, okay, we know Tracy's the alpha. I'm going to be the, I'm going to solidify backup. So I need that guy to come in, even these next couple of games. I need him to come in and just insert his dominance in this field and go, nobody's going to get any ball, no fly zone whatsoever. We didn't see that. What we saw were a bunch of like guys who are like not confident in whether or not they're going to be on the team or whatever, which is cool. It's the first game. I get it. But I'm going to be looking at that safety core these next couple of games because we need that backup. We need that Batman and Robin tandem back there.
Yeah. Looney Tunes know exactly who I was talking about. When talking about, I watched this player closely for the Falcons, and he knew exactly who I was talking about. And I was excited to see this person play. In the case you was wondering what he did in that preseason game, he had 3 solo tackles and a tackle for a loss. Again, just to kind of show y'all, there's a lot of good things that came out for our team in that game, but no sacks from the defense is disappointing. 2 tackles for a loss, and then I think the total number showing on here is 4 QB pressures. That's not what I was expecting to see. The only 2 people who got tackles for a loss is Derek Barnes and Aiden Hutchinson, and again, that was on running backs. Kudos to them, but no. Easy Does It says, no surprise we need Pascal back and Levi back. Why do you think Holmes stocked up on D-line in the last 2 years? Well, hopefully they get their ass in the game. He also says, Will Harris started over Okudah. That's crazy. Is Will Harris better than Okudah? This right here is coming from every damn source I can think of, including Mr. Micro Mike himself. What he saw in camp is exactly just that. That, yes, there has been a significant difference between Okudah and Will Harris, and Okudah has looked like the lesser of the 2 corners. And to me, it's not news because I told people years ago he's not a top 10 pick. So, but JGB, he said after all the hype, I needed more from Malcolm Rodriguez. The media wouldn't let you know that. The media made it seem like he had a phenomenal day. He rewrote the book on how to build the wheel. Like he had it all figured out. So, but for you, Anthony, who's that one player that you just kept looking back on saying, I want more. I need more. Where's more coming from? Who's that player?
I think my sort of area was on the defensive line. I know Jayshon Cornell got a lot of time in there, and Matt's really high on him from our pod, and I keep getting told he's the guy, he's still here after a few years because he offers something here, but he got busted for the PED thing last year. He was rubbish. It was absolutely terrible, and he's kind of one of the guys you need to come through on this team. You need D-line depth, and, Cornell was meant to be the guy there. Buggs was awful. He had a good tackle, but then he had a horrendous missed tackle. His missed tackle rate's well in the 20%. So that was a big problem for him when he came here. It's just like, outside of Demetrius Taylor, no one did anything for me in the depth positions at defensive tackle. And that's really worrying. But yeah, Cornell, I would not be surprised if he's cut in the group next week. I just don't see what they see in him. He had a terrible game. I don't think he's going to be here that much longer.
Well, just some of the news that's coming out right now. I see it in the chat popping up. Is just definitely, I went to go check it before I even talked about it. There seems to be a lot of rumors and love and saying that the Lions have traded for Mason Rudolph. I'm gonna tell y'all why this right here, if true, why I'm okay with this. Because I think, I could be wrong, but I think we can definitely upgrade from David Blau and Tim Boyle, but Tim Boyle most definitely got to go. I don't know how you I don't know how you can just overthrow so many people so bad and so far. Also, other news is Devin Functions and Isaiah's Bugs is running with the ones in practice. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you, because they do this all the time. They switch people in, switch people out. And the dress rehearsal will be this week against the Colts, so we'll be able to see what people can do. But if the Lions have pulled the trigger on Mason Rudolph, great. Because I can tell you right now that Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky didn't look too bad. It wasn't great. They didn't look too bad. But Mason Rudolph has to be more competent than what I've been seeing. And that's not saying much. And I hopefully it's not for nothing like but a 7th in next year's draft. So that's just food for thought. For Shizzle86 says, I like that Kennedy guy, wide receiver. If y'all let him go, we'll take him now. And we not letting – I know y'all ain't letting him alone go nowhere, man. I just wanted him. And Kennedy's going to probably end up on practice squad. I just don't see how he makes this team.
Give us a fifth for him. You can have him.
I mean, look at you negotiating already. Do anybody see Tom Kennedy really making this team 100%? Like, anyway?
No. He's a preseason warrior. He always has been.
He do this.
And unfortunately, why he got so many receptions? Think who's throwing at him? It's David Blau. And where are those two best mates? On the practice squad. You know, they're practicing on the practice squad. So the first person he's always looking for is Tom Kennedy. You know, that's why he gets so many receptions there. But when it comes to a season, he just doesn't bring it out. And he's not got Blau firing at him. He's got Goff. So, yeah, he's just a preseason guy who needs to. He's just like, you know, I think someone used a nice analogy the other day. It's like in baseball when you get a guy up at AAA who's just never good enough to get to the big leagues, but he'll do you solid in AAA. That's what Tom Kennedy is.
Yeah.
So again, he'll be available for y'all team to pick up off of our practice squad because that's where he's going, in my opinion. What you got for us, Rumble?
Yeah, I think Devin Funchess makes the team by far. So I don't see who spot Kennedy's going to take, man, other than, like you said, the practice squad or maybe a special teamer, maybe. I don't know, but it's hard. He did look good that first game, but to Anthony's point, he's got his buddy thrown to him. So I'm sure they go out to eat and talk routes and talk ball all the time.
All right. William Burke, shout out to the people. He says Hutch had a great opening drive. Only had one drive. Got a pressure, a tackle for a loss. Great reps, rushing the passer, 3 scrambles. Where's the issue? That's a good question. Where's the issue? Nobody's having an issue with Hutchinson. The thing was, calm the hell down on him. Because as a whole, he wasn't brought here just to be a run stopper. He's brought here to put pressure on the quarterback. And so the issue that I took was, while we're all falling in love with that one drive, let's not forget that a whole 60-minute game was played. We had zero, donut, nada, nothing. What's another word for it? How many languages can you say nothing in? Let me see.
Nada.
Nada.
9.
I mean, just go down the list where you can say nothing. At the sack totals, there was no sack. And the nearest person to the person that gets sacked was a damn linebacker who had to chase him once he cleared the pocket good. The D-line did us no favors.
That's the issue, though. It's letting bang average quarterbacks break, contain, and run on us.
Yep.
When absolutely. Don't get me wrong, I love Desmond Ridder, but he's not a rushing quarterback from college. He did it when he needed to, but him and Marcus Mariota are not even top 20 when it comes to guys who can rush in this league. Mariota runs like he's a tanker stuck in treacle, and he was still putting moves on us and breaking and getting yardage. What the hell do you think mobile guys are going to do to us? It frustrates me all the time that quarterbacks are allowed to break coverage. I mean, hell, I don't care whether you use a spy on a guy, whatever. Just get one guy and solely leave him there for when the quarterback rolls out the pocket and send him. Because Mariota, it's like Goff. It's like the turning circle, like I say, of a fuel tanker. It's not pretty, and yet he's still got places. That's something that needs to be sorted, because Jalen Hurts will, rout us week 1 if we don't, keep contained.
Shout out to 2 guys in the podcast. I always love when they come through and stuff and show love to them. They used to let me click and show the stuff, but they don't let me do it, so I have to do it. But 2 guys in the podcast, make sure you show love to the channel. It's exactly what you see right here. He says a tackle for a loss is like a sack. Same thing. No, a tackle for a loss is like the person who got the 300C because it looks like a phantom. and then they pulled up next to the Phantom and then realized that they shit was really a 300C. That's what it's like. I mean, they should look the same at a glance until the real deal gets next to it. And the real deal is the sack, the tackle for the loss is great. But the other issue, and this is also too with William, saying what's the big deal? Boye Mafe had 2 sacks and a sack strip fumble. And, just putting that out there. So, granted, it's a preseason game. I'm not looking too much into it, but I'm saying as a whole, the team should have had some sacks. It just should have happened. Easy does it says Swift has to improve his vision, in my opinion. I thought his vision was perfectly fine.
The thing with the sack count, Luke, I guess their running game was just having that much ease against us. We never really got them at 3rd and long. Just like them with us on our first drive, Goff was never put at 3rd and long to be put under pressure, which allowed him to work well. But we were the same because we couldn't stop the run. You can't really put them in those 3rd and long situations where you can send Aiden and everyone to go sack him.
Yeah, I just think we needed a spy on the quarterback. We know Mariota is known for breaking the pocket. He's one of the guys that threw himself a touchdown when he was in Tennessee. Like, he's known for breaking the pocket. But like you said, he doesn't have wheels of steel. He's not like that burner. Like, you can catch him, but for him not to meet any resistance till he 10, 12 yards down the field is unacceptable, man. You have to have a spy on that guy. That means everything's locked up, and he's the only guy that's out there roaming around. It's like your defense was good up until that point to where you allow him to break pocket and gouge you and get a first down and extend the play. It's like, ugh.
Exactly. And Sam Ehlinger was running at 8 yards a clip the other day against the Bills. So, when he comes in for the Colts, if you're not learning your lessons, even Sam Ehlinger is he's again not the prototype of a dual tap quarterback, but he will hit you downfield. And if you're having issues with him and Mariota and Ridder, there is something wrong. You've got to watch that tape and you have got to learn.
He said there is something wrong. If you you say clearly we need to go back and evaluate what happened if that's the case. And also, this is another thing that I didn't like that, and I should have brought this up myself, but I was too busy going off about other things, which is another good point by the Chaos Controller of more of that Comiskey guy. I like him. He performed, and if he keeps this up, he's gonna be around. But we're not going to hear about that. We're going to hear the things that get clicks. If they had a story talking about the obscure players, we wouldn't even be talking about them half the time. So yeah, that's just what it is. But yeah, I do agree with you on that. Let me see. Make sure I ain't forgetting. I see they dropping these things in the chat quick. Another thing I wanted to talk about, because this is okay. I could be wrong, but was it just me or? Oh, wait, an old timer coming back, showing some love, showing the big. Let me get this off the goddamn screen. I'm sorry, Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you last. All right, my man Sky Guy's in the building. What up, though?
What up, Luke? Yeah, sorry, I've been trying to get in for a little bit, and I couldn't get my face cam to work. Damn thing wasn't plugged in, so that explains why it wasn't working.
It's okay. Things happen. It happens for a reason, but you're here, and we're happy to hear from you. Now, I see you already in there taking issue with some of the things that people saying. So what do you got for us?
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say I hyped up Boye Mafe all offseason, and he showed up. So I just want to say I feel good about that one.
Yeah, listen, you remember, I think I did a live film that I had to be careful about it, and I made the argument to say to the people, you don't need Aiden Hutchinson. Again, don't get me wrong, Aiden Hutchinson can end up being the best thing out there since sliced bread. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I said them tackles they went against were not good.
Yeah. I mean, he did the exact same thing against Ohio State that Aiden did.
Yep. And I was like, them tackles for Ohio State was not good. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And so I think enough people didn't understand that. But he definitely had a day the other day. And I went, oh, okay. It was interesting to see certain players perform. So good to see that. And then
the thing, like, I love Aiden. I think he was the best player in the draft. My only issue I had with picking him was there was a ton of other talent at that position where some other positions maybe didn't have as much talent. So I think that was my issue with picking Aiden, but I also didn't think Aiden would get to us. I really didn't up until like that last week of like up to the draft where it looked like Jacksonville was going to take someone else. I didn't think Aiden would make it to us.
I figured if Jacksonville was crazy enough to pass on him, they would take him because it's the storyline. Hometown kid.
Yeah. Oh, right? Yeah. I knew we'd take him if he came to us. I just didn't think he would.
Now, remember, all the hype was it was Thibodeau, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, he does not fit what the culture is. He was lazy. He took too many plays off and things like that, so I didn't buy it. Two guys in the podcast says, will the Lions run swift enough to get him close to 1,500 yards? No,
I don't think so.
They'll run him enough to get him well into 1,200.
Yeah, that's kind of what I have. My prediction if he stays healthy the whole season. Yeah,
I mean, you figure with 17 games, it doesn't take much to get to 1,000 these days, right?
Yeah.
So, but I can tell you this much, and this is one of the first things I looked at because y'all know me. I've been hollering and harping on this stuff for the longest, and I had a lot of fans say, "Oh, well, Luke, it's not that big of a deal." This bothered me in a slight way, but I was happy to see it still happen. Swift touched the ball 4 times when he ran the ball. That's 4 times for 20 yards, a 5-yard average, right? That's great. Jamal Williams ran the ball 2 times for 12 yards, a 6-yard average. That's great.
Yeah, those are damn good numbers.
Right. And the thing is I'm happy that the split is not even because what they were doing last year was he gets a carry, then you get a carry, then he gets a carry, then you get a carry, then he gets a carry, then he gets a carry. I was tired of it.
Yeah, no, I hated the split carries that we were doing. Like, we need someone to come in as number 1. It should be Swift, but if it's Jamal, like, just give it consistently to them.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, I liked how physical he was, man. Like he didn't shy away from contact on the goal line, man.
Oh yeah,
he lowered his shoulder.
Small sample size, obviously, but Swift looked almost like a different player in the little bit we saw.
Yeah, he didn't shy away from contact. I'm
had better vision.
Yeah.
2 guys in the podcast. Well, Aiden think the Jags in his Hall of Fame speech acting for a friend. If he did, that would be one of the greatest moments in Hall of Fame speeches history. That would be beyond hilarious. But I do want to talk about Jared Goff because I think that Jared Goff, again, it's a preseason game. I think that the response to Jared Goff last year, throwing the ball so many times short, showed up, and now it makes sense that the quarterback's coach and the head coach and offensive coordinator is like, nope, we're going to take shots down the field. Starting with you, Anthony, what was your assessment of Jared Goff? What did you see out of him that you was like, yay, hooray, and that you was like, that's much of the same?
I'll tell you one thing, I didn't get worried once on that drive with him. Last year, I used to have like this God-given fear that something was going to go wrong. He was going to get sacked. He was going to throw it away on 4th down, something like that. But I didn't feel one sense of urgency like regarding my feelings about him. He looked calm. He looked collected. He got put under some pressure, so he'd step up. He got put under some pressure. He took a few steps back. He hit his man downfield. He wasn't just trying check downs all the time. You know, he looked a completely different guy from last year. And yes, it's a very small sample size on a drive. But with Jared Goff at the helm there, that offense looked neat. It moved very efficiently. It looked good. So I was happy. But again, this is one drive in preseason. But giving me credit where it's due, I thought he looked really good. I thought he looked miles better than this time last year.
All right, what say you, Rumble? What did you see out of Jared Goff? Because you know Jared Goff, he got some love, but for the most part, it got backseated to Aiden Hutchinson news and who was bad, that other stuff.
Yeah. Kudos to Jared Goff. I guess he went to coach once he found out the entire O-line was playing and was just like, I need to be out there with my guys. Coach okayed him to be out there, but I still see the same Affleck ducks that he likes to throw. But he did step through Some of those throws, he planted his foot and followed through. They were very confident throws. And he, like to Anthony's point, he had all day, man. He didn't look bothered. He didn't look worried. He was, had his head on the swivel, checking all his left to right and firing the ball in there. So yeah, he looked very confident, completely different than last year. No check downs. He's trying to blow the roof off that thing. So good for him.
Okay. Sky, what did you see out of him? Because I got a very interesting take, in my opinion, something that I was surprised to see. Yeah. Something that I didn't think I was going to say I was going to see. And I know it's a preseason game, but that little small victory, I'm giving credit due. What did you see out of him that stood out to you?
Yeah, I was pretty impressed myself with, obviously, small sample size, whatever. It was that second or third play. It was the incompletion to Jamal, but that wasn't his fault, obviously. That was just a drop ball. But he went through his progressions before he checked it down there. It wasn't even really a check down. It was like it's still several yards, but he went through every progression, and it was going to be a deep shot. Just there was just nothing open, and that's what you have to do. So I was happy with that. I felt like he did what he was supposed to do, and that's what we need him to do. We don't need him to be Josh Allen. We don't need him to be Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. We need him to be him and just the best Jared Goff that he can be.
See, I thought, again, I know everybody ain't going to agree with it. I thought his accuracy was freakingly, shockingly good. I was shocked as hell at how accurate he was. I was like, all right. A few of those plays, he put it to where only his receiver can get it and where his receiver can turn and make a play. And I went, all right, that's different. And you're right. The one play that went to win, it was a drop on that part, but it happens. It
happens. It does.
It happens. I think in the future he'll remember that every time he gets tired of mid.
That's the first preseason game. Like,
facts. There's
gonna be some drops.
If it's not, then you need to be really concerned about what's really going on.
Yeah.
But again, I was fairly shocked. I'm just gonna be honest. I was like, holy shit, he
still doesn't have a spiral. It's
still but you know what? But you know what though? It got there.
It does get there. I'll give you that.
It got there, right? Like, we can say what we want. It somehow got there. And so I was shocked. Another thing that shocked me from the game this past week that stood out to me, for all the videos I've seen of Okudah, it still looked like he was not sure of himself with that injury.
Yeah,
he wasn't turning and cutting like he was supposed to, which again is another one of the things where it's like, okay, this is a big problem. So
yeah,
I don't know what the issue is.
I thought his tackling were really good.
He's always
came up and got aggressive.
He's always been a good tackler,
that's what he's always done well.
But you do want to see him getting physical after the injury. That's one of the things you're scared of, that he's not going to be as physical because he's going to be worried about getting hurt. But he was throwing himself in there. He came up to the line of scrimmage, made plays. Considering he's been out for a year with a bad injury, that's a good sign early on.
Yeah, he's always been in, which is another reason why I think he's a safety. But again, I know the match is going to say otherwise. I thought he was a safety. And just wanted to point it out. There was this one story that has nothing to do with the Lions, but I think it's relatable to the Lions. Did anybody happen to catch that Texans game? Anybody?
I did.
I caught a little bit of it.
I was watching Dameon Pierce.
Okay. The social media I told you it's a toxic place, but it can be funny at times. So social media went full out trolling of Dan Mullen because they say that he didn't use Dameon Pierce like he was supposed to. And one of the things that was pointed out was that Dan Mullins had Dameon Pierce in Florida in the backfield of 2021, only handed him the ball 7.7 times per game. Now, I pointed this same issue that I had with Swift out, and I had a number of people who was resistant to it. But some of the things that people said was, Really impressive preseason debut for a Texans rookie, Dameon Pierce. And somebody quickly felt the need to say, just going to take this opportunity to remind everyone that Dan Mullins never gave Dameon Pierce more than 15 carries a game. How shameful is he? This should show you that he is not the right coach for Florida football. Another person posed Dan Mullins should be jailed for having this person on the roster and not using them. Another person
kicked
says,
out of the state of Florida.
I know. Another person says, I think it's fair to say that when Dameon Pierce is inducted into Canton in 2045, Dan Mullins ain't going to be a part of that introduction speech. Another person says Dameon Pierce success in the NFL is the first sign that you should have known there's something wrong with Mullins, who also had Emory Jones a year at ASU. And somehow, some way, made both of them look mediocre, only for them to get to the pros and have mild success. I say all that to say this. Sometimes teams can have moments where we look at players and say, why are they doing this? And it can solely be the coach. It can solely be on the team. It's one of the reasons why many of y'all hate Jared Davis, and many of us hate Jelani Tavai, and many of us hate this and hate that. And the reality is because some of these coaches don't have a damn clue in what they're doing. Quick note that just came in: wide receiver Javon McKinley has just been cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know there's going to be a lot of conversations for receivers come available. So yay,
you know it is,
dude.
Even though we got them,
it's always something with these types of things. I'm looking at the list of people who got cut because I'm trying to see if there's any damn linebackers that we can take. So far, I worked my way down. I'm saying Buffalo, no linebackers cut yet.
It's coming. Be
so
patient.
far, it's been mostly like receivers and tight ends.
Yeah, it has.
Lines, like
Jacksonville cut Wyatt Ray, but again, that's the only one. Let me see. I really am looking for linebackers, y'all. So I'm multitasking over here. I'm trying to say, the Eagles cut Ali Fayed. Where's William? William, get your ass in here.
He's not a linebacker.
Don't matter. Don't matter. don't matter. I'm gonna tell you why I don't. Because if we can somehow if this guy can somehow get in here and be a good depth guy, which now allows for another guy to get kicked inside, which then allows for another guy to go to linebacker, I'll take it. Which also allows for them to find a way to get rid of Tim Boyles. I'm taking all people, but I just know that was Williams' guy. That's why I said, he just got cut. So where is he?
Roquan had all his Chicago gear on too, man. That man ain't going nowhere. He was donned out in all shit.
And Drew said it too. Drew said it too that he's an expert. I don't care. I'm just saying. Don't care. At this point, we can take it all, right? But he has been cut. So just FYI, in case you were wondering. Let's see. They also have. I'm going through. The Bears cut CJ Avery and Christian Albright. Those are two linebackers they cut. Obviously, we got rid of tight end Nolan Given and tight end Garrett Griffin and Ryan McCullum. That's how you say his name, right?
McCullum was a bum, so
I mean he's gone, right? Panthers, shit, they cut a lot of people. But their linebacker that they cut is Callum Martin. Let's see. The Saints cut a lot of defensive backs. We need to look at all of this shit. Everybody
Ravens cut a couple defensive backs too.
Yeah, we need to look at all of this. I'm not turning my nose down to nothing. I cannot. I cannot. We need depth and we need it bad. What that commercial is my money and I need it now. 49ers cut wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson. Darquez Denard got cut and Leon O'Neal got cut. Yeah, ain't nobody good got cut that I'm ready to hop on realistically. But yeah, just putting it out there. All right. I went through every single one. It says I agree with S. Westbrook Holmes should be on the phone with the Bears. Yeah, it has to happen, bro. It has to happen. If we're not getting the damn linebacker, I don't know what to tell you. They have James Houston who playing the same role.
That is true. Houston
I mean, but is he? Is he for real, or is he just here? Like, I don't even think did he play that? Did he play in the game?
He did a little bit.
He played.
He actually almost stopped the final touchdown by the Falcons. He almost sacked, but it wasn't great overall. Just that one play was kind of almost nice.
Yeah, just saying. I'm not turning down nothing. Anything.
Me too, Ricky Bobby. Me too.
I'm taking anything that gets Tim Boyle the fuck up out of here. I'm taking anything that upgrades the linebacking core and anything that update. Oh, JG Wentworth, yes.
I will give the Packers like a 7th round pick to take Tim Boyle back from us. Like, I don't want him.
Dude, I watched Jordan Love throw interception at the end. I was like, yeah, I would still take him over Tim Boyle.
He at least has like a little bit of mobility.
Listen, I don't. Whatever it is, I can't do it. It says, should the Lions be looking at guys who are on the cut down list from 90 to 85? Yes, they should. Because just because another team deemed that they didn't need them does not mean we don't. Right? Like that's like sitting there saying that you shouldn't date the girl who had a lot of boyfriends because they didn't work out. That's no guarantee that y'all won't work out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like.
I mean, it's just experience, though, Luke. So.
Yeah,
that's okay. Sometimes we need a little experience. That's we just need just a little bit.
I think you're right, though. The big cuts. Obviously, these are only 5 people at the minute. I mean, week after next, it's what 26, 25 people who get cut at once. Bigger. We picked up Harris from that 3rd round of cuts last year. That's where you start to get the ones who really are going to maybe come on your roster and do something. Yeah, like, I don't think we're going to. There's no reason you can't look now.
Yeah, there's no reason you can't find someone now. Like, for instance, Wyatt Ray from the Jags. They've got 1 million linebackers there. Like, they had a bunch, then drafted 3 or something. So,
right.
Like, it's not like he may not be a bad or like he could be a good player, just not as good as the other linebackers for their scheme. And it's worth giving him a shot.
And the only reason I even brought up Ali is because I know that's Williams' guy.
Yeah.
So I'll let William talk to that because that's Williams' guy. William is really, I mean, obviously he knows he's been in that arena with the guy. So I get it. But I'm just saying anything that gets the following people the hell up out of here, Tim Boyles, or gives us a chance to get some more talent at the linebacker spot, I'm taking everybody. Yeah. Everybody's up for it because let's be honest, right? If you go in right now and you add this young rookie who has no injury right now, as it's shown, right? And you get rid of, say, I don't know. Let's say you got rid of Cedric Boswell. You upset? No. You get a chance to get a look at the guy firsthand. Can he be any worse than Sean Deion Hamilton? We don't know. So I'm just making a point that everybody is up for fucking review. And Anthony Pittman, I need to see something. I just at this point, just because they cut 5 players don't mean you stop looking for talent. Somebody just might have had more talent at that position. The same reason why we keep carrying 3 quarterbacks, which they better stop that this season. When most teams are like, I don't need 3 quarterbacks. And one of the reasons probably why the Steelers is moving on from Mason Rudolph is because they do like the rookie and Mitchell Trubisky going forward. So just saying. Let me go down and see what else we got down here. How many players make the 53 that are not on roster today? Ooh. Damn, that's a good one. How many that's not on the roster today that make the 53? Well, I put it this way. Tell me the position or who we pick up, and then we can talk about it. I think there are certain people that they can add who will make the 53, and they'll be willing to cut somebody for. But that's still going to come down to who is and who is not on the roster. That's all.
Well, I mean, how many did it last year? I don't think it was many. Charles came in.
You had like 3.
I
think it was 3, right? You had who was not on the roster is the word.
Yeah, at this point of the season, I guess before the big cuts down.
Yeah,
I mean, Charles came after, but I don't think many others came after that who made the roster in it. You'd be looking at receiver, I guess.
Yeah, we brought in Trinity.
They all got hurt.
Yeah,
Trinity was in season though, wasn't he?
No, it was a trade. I thought
it was like right before the final set of cuts, I believe.
Yeah, they brought him in and signed him, and then he didn't play though.
And then he did nothing. Yeah,
yeah, he didn't play.
Well, James
I
Willis,
can't think it's many. Are there many positions under threat at the moment? I mean, you want a new backup quarterback at this point. Like I said to you the other day, I'd take the ghost of Christmas past for a backup quarterback at the minute over either of them two.
the ghost of Christmas past.
I would take him over the 2 quarter incumbents, but then maybe you find a linebacker, maybe you find a safety, but apart from that, are you really going to find anywhere to upgrade in? I'm not sure. I think the depth is a lot better this year. The depth is what we struggled with last year because we had nobody. But I think at corner, you've got a battle between everyone who's probably already going to be here. Defensive line, they're probably going to be here. Maybe you get an interior guy if Levi and that are really badly injured. But I'd say 3 maybe might make it that aren't here now.
Okay. Yeah, I just and another thing I wanted to point out this too, because I know a lot of fans were talking about get rid of Big V. Again, it's one preseason game. The offensive line looked very good, and I don't think that you should be unseating people just for the hell of it, right?
If people are just thinking about money, then
and we're not let's be real, we're not a Super Bowl contender. The contract isn't that big a deal for us at this very moment. I think we could be better this year, but no, let's not kid anyone. We're not going to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we don't need however much we're paying Big V.
Right. To you guys' point, he's a solid backup piece, man. He can play up and down the line. Why would we get rid of him?
Yeah, I mean,
and
he
he's
can
familiar
play
with the team
almost everywhere. So
yeah.
You've got a manageable contract this year, and you can, if you find someone next year, you can cut him for a decent value as well. Not that you should, because we're forgetting that he played well last year.
Yeah.
There's only one guard in the entirety of the NFL who played more snaps than he did last year and didn't give up a sack.
Yep.
And this is him playing next to bloody Matt Nelson for half a year.
Yeah.
Who, as you saw on Friday, was absolutely trash. He's playing against a brand new center as well. Evan Brown was playing his first games. These are a big part of that offensive line, and we've moaned and whined for years. Oh, Stafford's not got an offensive line. Oh, let's just trade it all away then. Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
What the hell happened before?
Well, it's like last year when we drafted Sewell.
Yeah.
We drafted Sewell, and then everyone's like, trade Decker. And I'm like,
we're
not fixing anything.
Right. You just swap them out. James Willis says, I would like to know more about the Mason Rudolph trade. The more they reveal, I will be more than happy to share. I'm not finding any details about it. It's just a strong
all I know
source.
Is it's a trader, like a trade rumor at the moment, but nothing's confirmed.
It's false. He's going to get cut before it reaches a 53, so you can get him for free in a few weeks.
And that's kind of my thought.
They've got Kenny and Big Mitch. Big Mitch is going to be the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, he's not making the roster. I don't believe so.
No, I think he'll get cut and you'll get him for free. You don't, even if it's a conditional 7th in a year, you don't need to trade out to get him. He'll be available for free very soon.
Well, we'll see what they do. Jon Kapler says some other teams' 3rd and 4th string linebackers will be the 2nd string linebackers here. That's a damn shame. Follow that up with,
I don't necessarily know that that's wrong though.
Damn.
Follow that up with Michael says, should we draft a linebacker in any round next year? Not according to this fan base. Linebackers is overrated. They come a dime a dozen. You don't need them. All the usual suspect stuff.
I think there's some good linebackers coming out next year too.
Drew makes a good point. He says, I don't know if I want the guy that everyone else cut first. It's a good point. But it could also mean just that team might have had a lot of things. They were just trying to see somebody you can get a look at. And now what a lot of these teams have been doing is bringing people in to get a look at them, and they cut them in an earlier phase, hoping that they clear and they get put on their practice squad. The Lions do this shit every year. I
don't necessarily think Drew is wrong here, but I think there's more than just being right or wrong with this situation. There's a lot of gray area with it.
I think you strike out more often than you hit though when you're doing stuff like this. I think we got lucky with Charles last year. We got a guy who knew he was sort of in last chance saloon, came to a place where they said, "Well, work your ass off, you'll get a spot." And it kind of was just at the right time of his career when he needed a boot up the ass, and he came in and did well. But it ain't going to work that way every time. There is a reason these players are getting cut, and he had been justifiably cut at the time. So I think more often than not, you will struggle.
Drew says, hey, if we get a quality linebacker, then it's Super Bowl or bust. I love that you have a high standard. Because for
Division
me,
or bust for me. Yeah.
Because for me, if you have this high standard, I'm all for it, in my opinion. Because I think that we as a fan base should have a high standard. This schedule right now,
sarcastic, Luke, and you know it.
But sarcasm still works in truth, though, right? Because the reality is this: if you look at this team, right, your expectations should be high, and the reality is this: if you go through and you look at the linebacking core as a whole, what's the point of you sitting up here having games be lost because your linebacking core can't stop the run? That's the worst way to lose any game. It was so embarrassing to watch the Bengals, to watch the Eagles, just run the ball. Just run the ball down your throat. It's a slow death.
Rashad Penny, who hasn't been able to stay healthy for however many seasons he's been in the league, ran for like 150 against us. Like,
it shouldn't happen. It should not happen. And so for me, it's one of the things where I'm like, yeah, he can be sarcastic, but it's like, it is what it is. It says, why not sign Colin? I would definitely take Colin Kaepernick right now. Colin listen, you being funny, but let's keep it 100. Who ain't taking Colin Kaepernick over Tim Boyles? Show of hands. Because for those who can't see me, my hands is not the fuck up. Everybody is taking Colin Kaepernick over Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle's not nobody. Everybody's taking Colin Kaepernick over David Blau. You mean to tell me I can get Colin Kaepernick right now, and the only reason that somebody would hate for him to be there is because he decided to have a protest? Stop. Yes, anything that upgrades this team to be better, take it. So let's go get Kaepernick. 100%.
And to your point, like, I want to beat Aaron Rodgers twice a year first before I say Super Bowl. I want to run through our division and have no issues with that before we can claim Super Bowl. Because
I'm tired of being last in the division.
Yeah, exactly. It would suck to be like the Packers and win the division, and then just first round you get a bye and then lose. Like,
I just want to beat the Bears first.
That's what I'm saying. On Thanksgiving Day, let me beat. I want to beat the snot out of our division, and then I'll be all right with the Super Bowl. I just feel like those, yeah.
Mike out here starting all kinds. I'm gonna slowly get to this one because Mike is there. It said, did you click the link? Link says page not found. No, I'll repost it. The link is still good. I'll repost it. Hold on. I'll repost the link and I'll pin it. So here comes the weird stuff. Hold on, let me get the weird stuff going. Somebody, I don't know how these people always find me. These are not bots. These are just weird things. What is this? Let's see. Boom. All right. Let's see. All right. Let me go down. I'm going to repost the link. Here we go. Boom. I don't know why it's not working. Bam, right there. I'm going to repin it. Boom. All right, it's pinned. So now y'all should be able to get in there. The link is in there. All right. Now let me go back up. Y'all had me lost my spot for a minute. Like I seen all this weird stuff coming up. I'm like, bro, what is this? It says, Luke, we're a better football player as a freshman or as a senior. Tight end coach should have cut your ass the first year. Dude. Huh? Well, here's the problem. When I first played in the high school level, I started instantly, and I was one of the best players. And not only was I the best player on my team, I was one of the best players in the state. So, cool. They can do that. The idea of it taking time and they're needing room for development is cool. That's why the whole show started off with the reaction of, look, chill out. But the concerns at the linebacker spot is not an issue that I'm looking at and saying, oh, they can develop. I'm saying that at this juncture, you have one guy who's a rookie out there, and the rest of them are veterans. You should not be overrunning gaps. You should not be missing gaps. You should not being able to get off blockers at this point in your career. And so at that point, that is alarming and concerning to me on every level. So if they thought to cut me, I would have just went to another school and whooped their ass all around. But they knew better. So they capped me, and they was happy to have me because they knew better. I was a very good player when I played. But I get your point. I get your point. Now let me get up here. This man Mike says he would have took Napoleon Dynamite over Tim Boyle. This started a whole trend of vote for Pedro. Like y'all is in the rarest of rare form today. It doesn't make sense. He says I've been saying linebacker for a year, rolling my yes. Yeah, it's crazy. And we could have solved this if we didn't take Okudah, but that's another story.
Yeah.
That
was also a coach playing to keep his job, which never works.
Yeah, and that's why I said you cannot give a dead man walking opportunity to make decisions for your team. He'll make them for right now, not for the future. So that's just what it is. Shout out to BD Buzzer says, when it comes to the defense, we need to be healthy to see what we actually have. That's fair.
I agree.
That's fair. I can tell you right now, all the linebackers who are going to probably be the starters was healthy. The only one that wasn't out there was Ellis Anzalone. And you know what he is.
And it wasn't like he was not out there because he wasn't healthy. They said he wasn't out there because they know he's the starter as of right now.
Oh, see? It doesn't make sense.
And I don't like that, by the way. I don't like that we're not playing Alex Anzalone because we know he's the starter.
It don't make sense.
Yeah, I need continuity. If you're a starter, you need to be out there. If you're not getting scratched because of anything, you need to be out there. That way, the starters can get familiar with each other in real game situations. Like, it's one thing to practice each other in practice, but like we saw, they were carving the QBs were carving up our defenses just by running the ball. It's like, no, we need somebody out there who's familiar with those kind of players, man. Who's going to be like, all right, I'll spy the QB and I'm agreeing with you. I felt like Anzalone could have made some adjustments on the fly and had somebody spy the QB a play or two and set the tone. So I'm agreeing with you guys on that, man. He should have been out there.
I want to know who this person is for real. We don't went from Matt Patricia to Mike Valenti. What the hell is going on? I know this is not Mike Valenti, but it's still funny as hell. They picked the two people that gets my blood boiling to come up with them as their profile photo. What in the sweet baby Jesus is going on? Anzalone is going to get swallowed by blocks playing aggressive scheme. It scares me. I have no faith in Ellis Anzalone. You can definitely upgrade that. Just 100% Mike Valenti. Is he legit? I mean, they really brought in Mike Valenti. Okay. And they got it looking nice, too. That's the scary part about it. Shout out to them for that. What's going on, Marcus?
Al Avila in here soon. Like, just all the Matt Millen.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, Lions Lee said, I don't believe that's why he was out. He had a minor injury. They didn't want to make worse, I think. I mean, whatever. Oh, my God. Mike, hold on, y'all. Listen, Mike Valenti is in the building. All right, he's in the building. He says, breaking news, Mason Rudolph could be a Lion soon. Google it, family. I don't even think I ever heard Mike Valenti once say the word family, but you know what?
Yeah. We already discussed this. We've been through this.
Yeah, we've been through this. We discussed this already. Barnes looked a little lost to me on Friday.
He's a rookie still.
At times, there were times where I was like, he's lost.
I think what it was I'm not gonna say he was lost. I think it was more of him just wanting to make a play. Because there was this, like I said, that one play where he gave up that long run. Just respect your, just do your job. And if everybody's gonna do that, we can talk about it. But like I said, the D line didn't do nobody no favors neither. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Blow up somebody, bro. If you can't make a play, blow up whoever's blocking you, man. Hell with it. Make some kind of noise, man. I want to see you like flatline somebody.
Yeah.
All right, I ain't make the play, but
call that.
Yeah, Mike was the only one screaming for Herbert that year.
I give him tons of credit for that because he did call that one.
But you know what's funny? You remember? I want to say it was the start of the season. How everybody all came back and was like 2 or something. Like no, we're not gonna do that. And remember, I went on a whole tirade because I kept on saying the only person who was asking and screaming for Herbert was Mike. I said all of y'all wanted Tua.
Yeah, everyone wanted Tua.
Yeah, don't wait till he go and ball out and be like, I always wanted that guy. You know you didn't. I keep tabs. I don't always show them, but my patty is strong. Don't do it. Jon Kapler says, at Luke, Adam, and Mike Valenti will be on as Lions show together. Best Lions argument ever. I need it. Yeah, if that
would
even
be a
happened.
show.
Oh man, that'd be funny.
Oh my sweet God.
They would
You
give
would
her-
need like a referee and
Yeah, it'd be like Jay-Z versus Nas of the media. That'd be fun to see.
yeah, like get ready for some fights.
And I do agree with Ferg. He says linebackers did not trust their keys early at all, and they were not getting their run past. Nope, and that's another.
No.
What the hell? Now Tim Boyles is here. What the hell is going on?
Tim Boyle himself?
If Mason Rudolph comes, he won't beat me out. Then that you telling me that you're getting the head coach fired for some reason, because I don't know how that's possible. Everybody can beat you out. I was asleep last night and I beat you out. Trust me. All right.
If you combined all three of them together, you would still probably get a subpar quarterback.
Yeah, it'd lacking something.
I'm just saying. All right, let me see. All right, I went over my time. I'm supposed to have been on for an hour and a half. I get to go get beat up in a video game again today. He has discovered, I don't know why this is what happened when you let your children go around certain family members. They don't share your same core values of things. And now he is a fanatic of all things Tekken. And I have no clue the hell I'm doing in Tekken, right? The last Tekken I played was like Tekken 2, right? Like, it's been a long time. And he's good at these fighting games. Like, if there was ever opportunity for me to be like, I'm gonna turn him into a prodigy fighting game, this would be it. He kicks my butt in these games all the time. What the hell did Tim Boyle say? Luke had me on the show. Please come on. I want to ask, how did you throw the ball to a receiver who was on the field and the ball went to Ohio? I want you to explain to me how that happened. Tell me how that happened, and I'll definitely get you on 100%.
Yeah, that football paid toll in Florida. It was crazy.
Hey, they're going to be showing the scrimmage practices this week as well. Pat McAfee is. I saw that thing. They're showing it all live, so you get to watch them.
Hey, well, I'm going to be checking that out, though. So shout out to you, BD Buster, for that. Again, let me do a quick, I forgot to pay some bills early, so let me do it again. My man's Man Hour. If y'all didn't know, I'm rock with Man Hour as well, who they are doing all things where we on all the platforms. Oh, my sweet baby Jesus. I cannot believe who just popped in here now. If you are trying to get all 32 coverage and get content that's going to be out of the box thinking and in the box thinking, you want to get it here on Man Hour. We're trying to get them to 2,000 and above. So please go over there and subscribe and show some love. You can hear them on Roku. This podcast has been played on Roku. It's also been played on Facebook and a host of other different platforms. So shout out to Man Hours and show some love and support. Ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought it couldn't get no better. I don't know how they switching these profiles up this goddamn fast, but this is pure genius. Like, seriously. Jon Kapler says no Street Fighter. Nah, he don't want that smoke. As long as it's Street Fighter from Street Fighter 2 or the very first Street Fighter versus Capcom, he don't want that smoke. But obviously he's not old enough to play Mortal Kombat. Go ahead.
You've got to get him on the old consoles. That's what I do with my little brother.
You know the scary part?
I get my little brother on the old consoles, and then I kick his ass.
You know the scary part is I got a Super Nintendo Classic, and so I was playing him in Street Fighters on there. He could not do nothing with me, right? And so he realizes it, and he's like, I want to practice, Dad. I'm like, good, you want to practice. Okay. So I let him practice. And that next day, the most unlikely character, I never thought he was going to just know all this stuff, was Vega, and he beat the shit out of me. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, maybe my fingers don't move as fast as I get older or something. What the hell is happening?
You know what you need to do, Luke? You need to get good at Call of Duty. No child, could live with the shame of their parent being better than at Call of Duty or something like that.
Well,
he would have shame forever.
He only 6. He only 6. I don't even want to introduce him to that and have him thinking this is cool to run around with assault rifles and stuff. But but once he get old enough to play those games, I'm gonna be a healthy dose of let me get it together and stuff like that. But yeah, at this point, he way too impressionable. Like the other day, he was watching what's this TV show called? Blippi. He's watching Blippi, and he's like, "Hey, Dad." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You know what we should do?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "We should go skydiving." I'm like, "Who in the what? What What do you mean go skydiving? Blippy went skydiving. I'm like, I don't care if he went skydiving. Dad ain't going skydiving. You're not skydiving. But Dad, it was okay. He had a parachute. I said, son, we don't jump out of things that are perfectly working fine. We don't do that. That's not what we do. And he's like, I'm going to get big and go skydiving. Like, where did he get this from? So I can't do the Call of Duty without feeling like I'm setting them up for the okie doke. Shout out to Drake Bell for coming through. Sean's in the building. He says, what up, guys? What's going on? What up, though? This guy is switching these goddamn profiles quick. Impressive as all get out.
I want to know, like, he's got it all planned out because he's got these pictures.
I know. It's crazy that Luke, Bell, and Boyle want to get on the show. I know. It's a dream come true. It's an absolute dream.
We want Jelani to vie. That's all we'll settle for.
Hey, listen. I can't even be critical of Jelani Tavai no more because of the guy who was coaching him, but that's another story.
Yeah, all right, if we could get Matt Patricia, that'd be the dream show guest.
Oof.
Yeah, let him in just so you could kick him out again.
I want to ask him some questions.
You know what's funny? While we on the game, before I kick this back to the final thought, one of the games that I got a chance to play this weekend, when my kids went to sleep, and I forgot how good it was. Rainbow Six Vegas 2. That was such a good game. The having to come down the rope to breach the walls and all that, it was such a good game. So just putting it out there. We're gonna get into our final thoughts, man. Sky Guy, you cannot be a stranger too often, so you gotta make sure you come through. And Drew,
yeah, man. Welcome back.
Over the summer, I've been working a night job. So whenever you did stream, it was while I was asleep.
Makes sense. I ain't mad at you.
But I'm not working there anymore. So I should be able to come through a bit more, at least be in chat.
Well, at least if you hit me up on IG or you hit me up on Twitter, what I can do is we can probably set something up and we can probably do some of those pre-recorders. The same thing I've had to Anthony, because he be up late as hell. Like, I actually, like, y'all don't pay attention to it, but I do. Like, if you look at Anthony's show that they take, it'd be like daylight outside, and then out of nowhere when he comes on here, it'd be like pitch black, and I'm like, this is nuts. Like, I pay attention to those little things in the background. So I'm like, okay, did he just say I'm just chilling, brother, eating sloppy joes? Why?
Yeah, bring some of them over here.
Why, Coach? I'm gonna be quiet. Sloppy Joe is made from that same thing called ketchup. I don't want no parts of that. All right, that's a setup. It says, show your son the old cartoon Warship. Nah, bro.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I will not. No. Absolutely not. I already got one of them things talking about he can fly, so I'm straight. No. You trying to set me up. I'm like, Warship. I'm like, the Watership. Nah, I know that one. All right. Final thoughts, guy. Get the people your final thoughts before we get up out of here.
Final thoughts. Who's excited for this season? I can't wait.
I know I am.
I have been waiting. It has been such a boring summer. Like every day, one of the first things I do when I wake up is get on my phone and then I Google search Detroit Lions. And I'm like, nope, no news today. No news today. I'm just honestly just excited. Can't wait for Hard Knocks tomorrow. Can't wait for the next preseason game. I've got a friend who's a Colts fan, so we're kind of
they gonna get. Listen, the Colts were so committed to running the ball this past game that I expect to see much of the same this game,
and I hope we do. I hope we do because I want to see how we react to it.
Yeah.
So, my man's Anthony, give the people your final thoughts and make sure. You plug the channel. It is linked in the description. So if you're not sure what that ROTL stands for, that's Roar of the Lions UK. So put some respect on the name. But give the people some your final thoughts and plug the channel.
Yeah, like Luke says, you can find it at Roar of the Lions UK. We usually go live on Mondays and Wednesdays. All good fun if you want to come and join us, listen to an opinion from over the ocean. In terms of the final thoughts, just for me, you can be happy about last week. I think we did all right in the first preseason game. This week is when you're going to see what this team's really made of. Like Luke says, this is a team who's going to hit you back just as hard as you hit them. And, the big roster cuts are coming, players fighting for positions, and going to be a really tough game. And you're really going to see the character of a lot of these guys. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. But, yeah, another week closer to the season. I can't wait until we get there.
I know. I mean, I was a little bit of against the cutting down of the preseason, but if it get me to the regular season faster, I'm all for it. You know, I'm all for it. My man's Lions Rumble 81. What are your final thoughts for the people today?
Man, thank you again as always, Anthony, Luke, Sky, chat. Yeah, man. I hope the Colts are run heavy, and I hope our boys show up. We need to be attacking the run, and we need to be absolutely just making them change their game plan. That's what I'm waiting to see. I want them to change their game plan. I'm ready. I'm ready for this defense to make other teams change their game plan. But yeah, man, short preseason. I'm excited like you guys are. I love the effort out of our guys. I hope that they play them a whole quarter and maybe a little bit of the second quarter. I hope they start implementing that and just giving them more game time. That way we can see, whether or not they create turnovers or whatever. But yeah, man, I'm excited with you guys, man. And then Hard Knocks tomorrow night too. So
yep.
Yeah, man, let's get it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot to talk about tomorrow too. When you start to look at some of these people getting cut and who's getting traded and who's going to be here and not be here and all that cool stuff. So yeah, it's always good to see that. Y'all know me, good people. I can't never end the show unless I end it on a positive note. Let me say that again. End it on a positive note. And today's positive quote comes from Mike Tyson. I was sitting up here listening to him have a conversation, and Mike Tyson, you can tell he's seasoned. He's been through a lot, but he had this statement where he says, everybody you fight is not your enemy, and everyone who helps you is not your friend. Know the difference. People, y'all circles have been tainted. Some of y'all have been bamboozled. Some of y'all have been hoodwinked. You have been taken out of your own processes to where you are not aware of the people in your circle. Just simply do small things. Ask yourself, who remembers those little things that you don't have to remind them about? Who is there when the times are hard and difficult? Who is willing to have the fight with you and tell you I love you afterwards? Find those people who enrich you, who build you up, who make you a better person, who gives you some type of reason to show up the next day. Keep those people in your circle. And all the ones who are not in the circle, who can't seem to find a way to tell you happy birthday when they have forgotten your birthday, or they can't seem to tell you, hey, I remember you telling me you had a job interview. How did it go? Those are the people that you want to keep an eye out for. You see, what Mike Tyson was trying to let you know is in his years, he thought everybody who had their hands on his career was trying to help him, but only was doing it for their own benefit. And those who he fought against were the ones who were trying to make him a better person. Look for the person who gives you the most resistance, because those are usually the ones who love you the most. There's usually the ones that are the hardest on you because they know you could be a better version of yourself. Do not sell yourself short for people who do not have your best interests at heart. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And if you don't do nothing else, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We will be back at it again tomorrow, God willing, at 5 p.m. Eastern.